What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chaos Terminal. Last time on the channel, we started this new survival world, going over just some tips and tricks, a beginner's guide, if you will. This time we're picking up right where we left off. We completed the base here that we started at. I call it the trace base. And we're going to go exploring a little bit. So the easiest way to get some distance in exploring, honestly, is to just go over to your bus station here. You found bus station A last time, if you remember. And you're going to just click on it and click on that same bus station A that you are already at. Basically, it's just going to launch you straight up into the air, and you'll be able to glide down. So the goal for this excursion here is to follow this path. You see it there? We're going to follow it until it's all the way revealed on the map. Neat points of interests, they like to spawn around paths. So, yeah. Any path will do. We're going to head this way. Now, right off the bat, when I land here, I found one of the good points of interest. So keep an eye out for this cave right here. It's going to have some pieces right outside the front and some antenna on top. This is your Star Wars cave. This is going to give you access to Star Wars Island without having to take the bus. Until you make it to Star Wars Island and get the macro binoculars, this cave can be pretty tricky to find, but luckily we found it right away. And now it does not show up on your map, so go ahead and use one of these map markers to mark it. That way you'll be able to find it later when you're ready to actually go exploring. And just like I said last time, it is the perfect time right now to start playing Lego Fortnite because there is a huge update coming. There it is. Ninjago and dragons are coming to Lego Fortnite in just a couple of days after this video is posted. So, for sure, now is the time. Alright, let's go ahead and keep going here. We're following the path. I encountered these wolves. Let me just show you what happens when you die. A most painful death to wolf attack. There we are. Of course, I got the video sped up a little bit. But yep, just like we mentioned last time, since we placed a bed here at our Storm Survivor camp, we will respawn there. And now it's just a matter of heading right back out. We're going to head out and see if we can get all the way over to that white symbol on the map there. That's one of the spires, another enemy boss in the game. The spires are going to be too difficult probably for you to face right now. Same with those bears. You saw brown bear earlier, and there's also... You don't want to mess with the bears until you've gotten some charms and some better weapons under your belt. And this is a neat little spot I found. Just a little crevice in the rocks there, a little prefab area. I call those rat holes. Nope, we'll keep going. We're going to try to avoid that bear. But since it's dark, let's see if we can skip through some of this. Now, one thing that might be very useful to know is that at nighttime, these skeleton guys are going to pop out of the ground, and they're pretty easy to face most of the time. The ones in the Frostlands biome, where we are now, and the Dry Valley biome, where we'll get to in a later episode, those guys are a little bit harder to defeat than the classic ones. And the glowing skeletons and skeleton wolves are even harder to defeat. So you'll see here, I'm willing to face one of the regular Arctic wolves, even though we're still fighting a couple of skeletons, because I'm pretty good at getting them. But over here, bam, that skeleton wolf we are running from. That is not worth it. Those guys will eat chunks out of you. So yeah, honestly, I would just keep running. You see the skeleton wolf is even following me across the river. You really just have to get far enough away that it no longer sees you. You'll want to also run from brutes, those big monsters. You can kind of see it off in the distance there. Right there. You can see its eyes and that little red symbol. We'll get to brutes later. I'll show you how to face them. For now, let's just keep exploring, get more of our map explored, and see if... Yep. So a superior spire. We didn't know how difficult that spire was before we walked over here. Some of them are very easy to defeat. Superior ones are not. We'll leave that for later. Right now we're going to head back to, looks like, a bus station. Just avoiding the brute off in the distance. Playing with the visualized sound effects on is very helpful. If you're at all hearing impaired, or you just like to be able to see what's going on rather than listen for the sounds that they make, definitely go into your settings and change visualized sound effects to be on, and then hit apply. One fun tip too, you can see I just utilized it here, is to let enemies attack each other rather than you. So I was being chased by that bear, but I led it over to a wolf, and it got distracted fighting the wolf, and I was able to escape and fight that storm acolyte instead. Much easier to defeat these guys. Alright, keep gathering resources. So far what we've done in this series is we've leveled up our Storm Survivor camp. We found our Star Wars cave, and we started gathering as many different types of resources as we can. We're just going to hoard all of those up, bring them back to our base. We've only got a little bit more of our map to explore. It's important that you get at least this area surrounding your spawn point explored, because when you die without beds, you will end up back here every time, so it's somewhere you want to get familiar with. Also, anytime you invite players onto your world, they will spawn here in this area as well. So it's really the first step, is to get acquainted with your spawn point, find all the caves, follow all of the paths, just see what's around. Alright, let's do a couple more battles here, see if we can get some resources off these guys. You'll notice my health is incredibly low, so again, we're going to just eat some food to get some of that health back. We're going to use our jump attack and our dodge as much as possible to avoid taking damage while dealing the most amount of damage possible. Back at our camp, I think it's time to go check out that Star Wars cave. What do you guys think? We've spent a decent amount of time here. We'll get some resources off of these bad boys first. The teleporter guys are not the hardest to defeat, but they can be irritating. Ooh, the wolves, yep. The wolves are still going to be a little bit tricky for you, especially when they're in groups. We might just be running from these guys, honestly. I wish I would remember to grab that pistol. That flint knock will actually, you saw it just a second ago, give you some distance. It's a mobility device. Come on. Well, let's just run into our Star Wars cave. We teased it earlier. This is where we'll wrap it up. Now, the Star Wars cave is one of the only caves that guarantees no enemies on the inside, so you can always be safe. You can always be sure that you're safe inside the Star Wars cave. That's going to allow us to heal up a little bit. Make our way over to Star Wars Island, where we'll probably pick up on the next episode. I know we went by pretty fast on this one, but let's just go over what we learned again. It's important to explore around your spawn point. Gather as many resources as you can in the early game. Make sure that you are fighting the storm acolytes, the skeletons that don't glow, single wolves. Even the Arctic wolves are probably fine, but stay away from groups of wolves, glowing skeletons, and brutes. Alright, we are almost through to the end of our Star Wars cave. If you learned anything new, go ahead and leave us a comment down below telling us what you learned. And leave us a like on the video too. We got a couple more of these coming here in the Beginner's Guide series. Alright, well, I'll leave you there. Y'all have a good one. We will catch up with you next time. Bye.